Welcome back to OT Sports. Today we got our Week 1 college basketball Power 40 rankings. Very excited the season starts today. Um, I'm recording this video before all of the games start. So, this season should be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And this season's as wide open as ever. I don't think there's a clear favorite to win it all. There is a favorite, but I don't think there's a clear one. I think there's plenty of teams that can compete for a national championship this year. And yeah, we're gonna be having these weekly every Monday from now on, so you can look forward to this to start your week. Um, yeah, once a week, every Monday night. So yeah, this is week 1. So just before I get into it, these rankings are gonna change every week. So take these with a grain of salt. This is just preseason, pretty much, since none of the games have started yet. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start with 40 and work my way up. Number 40, I got the Clemson Tigers. I might be a little bit higher on Clemson than most, but I don't know. I think they got a good team. They got a lot of guys returning from last year. They were a solid team last year, and I have them in at 40, but they could definitely drop out of this by next week. But I snuck them in at 40. Number 39, Mississippi State. They're going to be without their best player for a while. I still put them in the top 40 because I think they will be a good team this year. Obviously, if they have their best player, they would be higher. I still put them in the top 40, though, at 39. Number 38, Northwestern. And just to be clear, I know I made a conference preview for every Power Six conference last week. Some of my ideas of the teams have changed since last week. That just goes to show this how tight this year is for teams. Because I had Ohio State behind Northwestern. I switched it right now for the rankings just because Northwestern has Boo Booey and not really much else. And I don't know. I like Ohio State. I think they are slightly better, so I snuck them in a place above Northwestern. Ohio State's bringing back Bruce Thornton and Zed Key. I think they should be pretty good. So I got them at 37. TCU at 36. Yeah, this is another one I switched. I switched TCU and Kansas State. I don't know. These teams, both Big 12. They're kind of similar. I had them at 5 and 6 for their conference placements. I put Kansas State ahead just because I trust Jerome Tang. I think he's gonna get some guys coming in, and I think they still should be a great team. I love him as a coach, so I just put him ahead, one ranking ahead of TCU, and then I did the same thing at 33 and 34 with Wisconsin and Indiana. These are my 5 and 6 teams in the Big Ten, if you were wondering. I put Wisconsin ahead just because they brought back a lot of guys from last year, and Indiana lost a lot. Indiana has potential to finish as a top 25 team, but they also could finish not even in the top 40 to finish the year. I have them at 34 as of right now. Yeah, I mean, brought in the guy from Oregon, Khalil Ware, and they also got a top 5 recruit. So they have potential. I'd like to see how they play first. So this is a little bit of a conservative ranking, but also optimistic. Because, like I said, this team is one of the teams with the hugest ranges for this year on how it could go. Like, I could see them finishing as high as maybe 4th, maybe 3rd in the Big Ten, but also probably as low as 8, maybe 9. So, yeah. This team's got a lot of questions. I got them at 34. And then, like I said, with Wisconsin, they bring back a lot of guys. They were decent last year. I think they take a little bit of a step up this year. I got them at 33. 32, I got UCLA. They lost a lot. Probably the team, or one of the teams at least, with the most, losing production. They lost Jaime Jaquez, Jalen Clark. I'm forgetting the other two. They lost 2 other starters on that team. That they do bring back Pac-12 Freshman of the Year from last year. Adembona, so that he should be good. And I kind of have him here at 32 just because I trust their coach. They're usually a pretty good team. So I got him at 32, but they did lose a lot. They lost Tiger Campbell. He was one of the other ones, and then they lost one more starter. So Adembona is the only starter they bring back. I'm pretty sure he should be good. He was great last year, but yeah, I just don't know about this team. They're gonna have good recruits always. They have a great coaching staff, so I got them at 32 just because I trust them. They're usually a pretty good team. Dayton at 31. So this is kind of a team where they're good every once in a while when their players are nice and developed. The last year they were good was with Obi Toppin when they were projected to be a 1 seed and the tournament got canceled. So that was unfortunate for them. Yeah, that year was going to be interesting. Dayton was going to be a 1 seed. San Diego State was like undefeated. That year was going to be interesting, but it got canceled, unfortunately. But Dayton should be a pretty good team this year. I think there's no way they don't win the A10. I think they're by far the best team in that conference. Item at 31. They got a lot of veteran guys on that team. I got them here at 31. 30, I got Memphis. This team could be sneaky. I think they could give FAU some problems when they do end up playing. This is definitely the second best team in the American. They're not the best. FAU's better, but Memphis is a sneaky good team. They could. I mean, they're kind of a sleeper team for me this year. I'm really high on Memphis. I think they have a shot at winning the conference. Maybe not regular season title, but I mean they could do that too. But maybe conference tournament. I think they could win. I think they should be able to get a tournament spot. Um, 29, I got Alabama. This is similar to the UCLA situation. They lose a lot of guys. They lose Quinterly, Brandon Miller, two of their biggest producers. But I mean, I don't know. Nate Oates is a great coach. They're gonna bring in a lot of guys, a lot of recruits, transfers. You know the situation. But yeah, I just don't know what to think about this Alabama team. But I mean, Nate Oates is a great coach. I'm gonna keep it safe for now. I'm at 29, kind of similar to UCLA, but this team could fall out of the top 40, potentially get into the top 15 at one point. Like, there's a lot of wild cards this year. I think Alabama's one of them, and I have Auburn still ahead of Alabama. These were my 5 and 6 place teams in the SEC. My video last week, which is a great video, you should go check it out. I kept Auburn ahead of Alabama, just one spot ahead. I thought about changing it, but I don't know. I like Bruce Pearl. I mean, they're two great coaches on both of these teams. But I don't know. I think Auburn's is just a little bit better as of right now, just looking at the roster. Because, I mean, Alabama was so good last year, but they lose a lot of the guys that made them so good. So I put Auburn ahead. But these two are interchangeable. Kind of whenever you see, like, in these rankings, when you see, like, teams in the same conference right next to each other, they're pretty interchangeable for me. So, like, Ohio State, Northwestern, TCU, Kansas State, Indiana, Wisconsin, Alabama, Auburn. I think you could flip those two in any way you like. And then same situation with UNC and Virginia here at 26 and 27 respectively. Yeah, Virginia, I mean, you know what you're going to get from them. Tony Bennett is a good head coach. They play good. They're always going to have good defense, and they're always going to be a pretty good team. And then with UNC, obviously, huge letdown year last year. You would have liked to see them at least make the tournament. That was just very disappointing. They lose Caleb Love in the offseason, which could be good for them. I don't. It's kind of crazy I'm saying this, but I don't know. I feel like he's not the greatest point guard to have. He he's not he would shoot the ball a lot. Um, and with Armando Bakeout on the team, who is a top 5 player in college basketball probably, you got to give him the ball more, and he just didn't do that. So maybe this helps them. It's crazy to say. I feel like they're going to become more of a team this year. Armando Bakeout and R.J. Davis are back this year, so I don't know. I feel like they have potential. Last year with a first-year head coach, um, I don't know. I feel like they got potential this year. I'm gonna. I'm still playing it a little bit safe with them at 26 here. I didn't have them in the top 25 like most people did, but I still think they have potential to be a top 15, maybe 10 team. But I don't know how good their coach is. He didn't too wasn't too impressive last year with a amazing team, by the way. He just, I don't know. Maybe that 8 seed run with this team to the national championship game was a fluke. I'm not really ready to say that. But yeah, this year will pretty much determine that. So I got him at 26. I mean, it's North Carolina, so that's kind of a factor. All right, moving in to the top 25. And now, once you get to like the top, I don't know, once you get to the top maybe 20, 23, I could see all of these teams making a run in the tournament. Starting off at 25 with Colorado. They have one of the best players in their conference in Tristan Da Silva. He's great, and they bring in a lot of transfers and recruits. I'm very high on them. I got them at 25. Number 24, Maryland. This is kind of my sleeper team in the Big Ten. They could potentially, um, make some noise in the Big Ten, regular season and conference tournament. Yeah, they're good. Last season, we're an 8 seed in the tournament, and they bring back a lot of that team. So I don't know. I think Maryland could be very sneaky. I got them at 24. I was kind of surprised that they weren't ranked in the top 25. I got them at 24. But yeah, I'm very high on them this year. Number 23, Villanova. Last year they had a first-year head coach and had a very rough season. Not what you would expect from a team with the name Villanova, but they're gonna recruit well. Now they probably have lost some just because Jay Wright isn't there, and I mean if they had Jay Wright, I'd probably have them higher. But this is kind of one of those teams, kind of similar to UNC and Alabama and UCLA. I just don't know what to expect. Like the names are kind of bumping them up a little. They UNC had a first year coach last year. Wait, was he first year last year? Am I making that up? He might have. This might be his 3rd year. I don't know if I'm. I feel like whatever. Um, but Villanova, I just they're yeah another one of these teams. I'm not sure what to expect from. Um, they could prove me wrong and become a top 10 team. I don't know if they'll win the Big East. The Big East is a very good conference this year. I have 3 teams in my top 10. Spoiler alert. Um, 2 of them in my yeah, I'll just say it. 2 of them in my top 5. I'll reveal those in a little. But Villanova is that 4th place team. I think there's a bit of separation. There's kind of like Villanova's kind of in a tier of its own in the Big East. You got the title contenders in Marquette, Creighton, and UConn, and then there's Villanova, and then there's a bit of a tier, and then I think there's teams like Providence, St. John's, Xavier, kind of all behind them. Number 22, got Illinois. Terrence Shannon Jr. is back. He is one of the best players in the Big Ten and one of the best players in the country. He is very good. I think he'll win some games for Illinois that they maybe shouldn't win. So yeah, I think Illinois posed for a great season this year. They did lose a lot of their high recruits from the class last year. So the sophomores now they did lose some of them, but they were pretty disappointing last year. So I don't think that hurts them too much. Number 21, St. Mary's. You know what you're gonna get from them. A team that plays phenomenal defense and not, well, I guess kind of a slower offense. You know what you're gonna get. I think St. Mary's could potentially have one of their better seasons this year in recent history, just because they have a lot of veteran presence, and you know the defense is always going to be there with them. So, come tournament time, they are a strong team. Number 20, San Diego State. This is another one where I'm not sure what to. They did lose some guys. This is off season, but they did make the title game last year. Although I don't know, I feel like it was a little fluky. They beat FAU on a last second shot. Wait, did they? Yeah, they beat FAU. Sorry, I was thinking they were on the other side, but they weren't. They beat FAU on a last second shot. They almost lost to Charleston first round. I don't know. I feel like it might be a little fluky. I put them at 20 just because I felt like I had to respect them. They did make the title last year, so Kentucky at 19. Now this is kind of a tier. I take it back what I said. I don't think the top 23 are kind of ahead. I think it's the top 19. This is kind of the Final Four contenders in my opinion. Tier. Maybe not Final Four, maybe Elite Eight. I mean, you could say Final Four. I'll just say Final Four, just to make it more interesting. These are very good teams. These top 19. Starting off with Kentucky at 19. They bring in a lot of freshmen, very highly touted freshmen. They have like 3 of the top 5 recruits this year, I think. One of them, I think, is Justin Edwards. He's gonna be a dog. Yeah, so they should be great. 18, Texas. Texas, I feel like is being slept on. I don't. Them and Baylor are like neck and neck for the 17-18. I did put Baylor ahead of them, but I kind of almost want to take that back. I don't. I'm gonna keep Texas at 18. They bring in Mackett Abesmith, and they also return a lot of guys from last year. They should be very good. And then Baylor, Scott Drew, is always going to have a good team. They did lose L.J. Cryer and Keontae George, so they lose a lot of guys, but they also bring in a lot as well. They should still be a great team. USC is one of my sleeper teams that I think could potentially be one of the best teams in the country. And this all relies on how good Isaiah Collier is, because if he's not a top 10 player in college basketball, then I don't think USC will be a top 16 team by the end of the year. I'm putting a lot of faith in him. He's the number one recruit this year. They also bring in Bronny James. I don't know how he's doing right now. I don't know if he's gonna play. They also bring back Boogie Ellis. He was very good last year, so that guard duo is pretty crazy. That's going to be hard to stop. Gonzaga at 15. Again, this is another one of those teams that lose a lot of guys, but I'm keeping them a little bit higher than maybe I should just because of the name and the coaching. This is kind of similar to the Villanova, UNC, Baylor even. What were the other ones? Alabama, UCLA. Like, those teams are all kind of in the same boat, but I'm still expecting a great season from Gonzaga. I mean, it's Gonzaga. They can't be bad, right? So I got them at 15. Number 14, I got Miami. They lose Isaiah Wong, but they still have Norchad Omir. They still have trying to think of their other guy. I know they have another very good player. Um, I'm not too worried about them. I think they're the second best team in the ACC. So I got them at 14. Arkansas at 13. This is another one. 12 and 13 could be interchangeable. Uh, I mean, Muss is just a great coach. He's always going to have a great team. I got Arkansas at 13. Texas A&M at 12. They were 15 and 3, I believe, in conference play last year, something like that. They were very good in conference play, and they bring back a lot of their, almost all of their talent. I mean, Wade Taylor is probably a top 10 player in the country. Um, he's great, and yeah, I'm expecting huge things for Texas A&M, and I think they have a very realistic chance of winning the SEC. They're in for a very good year. Arizona at 11, I'm a little bit worried. The closer and closer I get to see them play, I'm starting to get a little bit more doubtful just because I don't know how good Caleb Love will be for them. Because, I don't know, I'm not the biggest Caleb Love guy. So I'm a little worried for them. I'm still going to put them at 11. They're still my favorite to win the Pac-12. But I'm just a little skeptical. Moving on to my top 10. Whoops, I went backwards. Moving on to my top 10. These are my national. I feel like there's a tier. Like, I don't know why, but the top 10 is kind of a tier above. It's kind of funny that it's separated. I didn't do that on purpose. That's just how this format had looked good. Yeah, these are my national championship contenders for this season. It's starting off at 10 with Houston. And I just want to let you guys know that, yeah, any of these teams, you can interchange them. In all honesty, I think there's an argument for all these teams to be at least top 5. So I'm gonna 10 at Houston. You might think it's a little low, and I'm kind of sitting here thinking it is a little low also. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking like they should be 7 right now. So that's just lets you know how close it is. I have them at 10. They bring in LJ Cryer. They do lose Marcus Sasser, but they still have Jamal Shed. They're in the Big 12 now, which I think helps them. They're going to be playing against better competition, which I think will better equip them for tournament time. So I think they're in for a great season. FAU made the Final Four last year as a 9 seed. They are moving to the American Conference, so a big jump from them. And they bring back their entire team. I am a little skeptical. Now, I feel like if this was like UNC or Duke or Kansas or Purdue or Michigan State or UConn or anyone in the Power 6, if you returned your whole team from a team that made the Final Four, you'd probably be at the very minimum top 3, but probably number 1. The question here is how will FAU adjust to playing in the American? Now, I know the American isn't as good as in years past. They lose Houston, which was kind of their big basketball team. Memphis is there, but the American isn't the greatest conference, so I feel like FAU will be fine making the jump to the American. At 8, I got Tennessee. I'm kind of high on Tennessee. I feel like, I don't know, I just really like their team. I believe they made the Elite 8 last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't. No, they didn't make the Elite 8. They lost to FAU. They made the Sweet 16. But I don't know. They bring back Zakai Ziegler. He was great last year. And I'm just. This is kind of one of those teams I want to see play. But I got them at 8. Number 7, UConn. They lose a lot of their guys, but they have a lot of highly touted recruits coming in. Got some transfers. Got a great coach in I forget if it's Bobby Hurley or his brother, but I think it's Bobby. Because one of them coaches at Arizona State. I always get them mixed up. But yeah, there should still be a great team. Michigan State at 6. I was kind of surprised that they were in the top 4. The more I think about Michigan State, the more I like them a little less. They're kind of in the situation with Arizona where the more I think about them, the more I get a little more skeptical. Because obviously they bring back A.J. Hogard and Tyson Walker, which is two phenomenal players. And they made the Sweet 16 last year, and they bring back a lot of their guys. They have Tom Izzo as the head coach, so you know his team's always going to be a factor. Um, but they were the 4 seed, I believe, in the Big Ten last year. They lost to Ohio State, who was like a 12 or 13 in the tournament, and they were a 7 seed in March Madness. So they really weren't that good of a regular season team. They made a run in the tournament, but I got them at 6. I'm a little lower on them than the rest. I don't think they're a top 5 team, but they are right there. Number 5, I got Creighton. I really like Creighton this year. They lose Ryan Nemhard, but they still have Ryan Kalkbrenner, who is going to be in a fierce competition for Big East Player of the Year, and Creighton should have a phenomenal season. And the player he's going to have a competition with for Big East Player of the Year is Tyler Kolek. He returns to Marquette, and Marquette returns a lot of their team. And they were a 2 seed last year. They won the Big East regular season and postseason title. They should be a great team. And yeah, Tyler Kolek is one of the better players in college basketball. He is very good. Purdue, this is the big one. Number 3. But I mean, this is a team I can't figure out where to put. I settled at 3. They bring back Zach Edey, which is huge. I was not expecting that. He returns. He's probably going to win National Player of the Year again. Now, I don't know how good of an NBA player he will be. I don't know. Just because he's really just a big guy compared to everyone else. He plays great defense. He rebounds the ball very well. But I don't know how good Purdue will be come tournament time, just because you need good guard play, and they don't have that. Now, their 2 guards are now sophomores. They were both freshmen last year, so they're going to get more comfortable, hopefully. I got them at 3. Matt Painter. I trust regular season. I don't know about March Madness, but I put them at 3. Number 2, I got Duke. Yeah, they bring back Kyle Filipowski and Jeremy Roach, and they also bring in the number 1 recruiting class this year, led by Jared McCain, I believe, but they also have one other that might actually be higher than him. I don't remember his name. Yeah, they're going to be a great team. And they also got like the number 1 recruit for next season, I believe. So they are in for a great season. Now they'll probably lose a lot of their guys to the draft after this year, but that just goes to show how good they are. They should win. They should just run away with the ACC, in my opinion. And I've seen some people hating on Duke. I don't really understand that. They started off the year a little slow, but they got hot late in the year and did fall short in tournament, losing in the second round. But again, they had a first-year head coach, I believe. Maybe it might have been second, but I don't know why I'm getting confused about this. I think it was his first year last year. So he's going into his second year, and John Shire, I really think he's going to be a great coach, following in Coach K's footsteps. I got them at 2, but they could be number 1. I'm very high on Duke. I ultimately settled on Kansas at number 1. It's just a safe pick. They bring back a lot of their team, and they also add Hunter Dickinson, so that's going to be huge. But yeah, this is kind of a team I want to see on the court, see how they run the offense and how they play defense. But I got them at 1. They're the AP poll number 1 team. I would agree. I think they are the best team just on paper when you look at them top to bottom. They're in the best conference. Mm, I don't know. It's they're probably in the best conference, but you could make a discussion for some other ones. But I got them at number one. That's what I decided on. So yeah, that's gonna be my preseason Power 40 rankings. Yes, again, this will be every Monday night, so you can look forward to this every week to start off your week. We do make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video if you enjoyed. We do college football every Tuesday night, NFL picks every Wednesday night, and then an NBA playoff watch is what we call it. It's kind of similar to MLB All Around. It's just every week we go through the standings and then make playoff predictions as how the standings would be on the day we film. So yeah, we do NBA every Thursday night. So yeah, this is the prime time for content on this channel. 4 videos a week. This is the most content you're going to get when football and basketball season are both rolling. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. We got a lot of stuff coming out. Make sure you turn the notification bells on to make sure you don't miss a video. And yeah, my X and Discord are linked in the description. You can follow that. Tweet about random sports things. And the Discord if you want to join that. Maybe be a guest on a video one time, and then if we come to an agreement, you can be a returning person on the or not on the podcast. I know I said that on the channel on certain videos that you know a lot about, because I would love to talk to someone about sports. And if you want to join the Discord just to be in it, that's cool too. You don't have to appear on the videos. But yeah, it's going to do it. I will see you guys tomorrow with our college football top 25. That should be exciting. And yeah, college basketball's back. Enjoy the first day. And I'll see you guys next Monday with our week 2 Power 40.